Hello, we are
Intermezzo. I'm Luca.
And I'm Hannah.
So to continue our series on antagonists from a sports anime, this episode we'll be focusing on Kotsume Kenma from Haikyuu. He is the setter of Nekoma High School. He's a second-year student, and he is 170 cm tall. One of his characteristics is his blonde hair. He originally has black hair, but then he has dyed his hair to blonde, and now it became a pudding head. Well, it came from Yamamoto, described him as Sadako when he was changing in the locker room. It was all dark, and then he was at the corner playing game by himself, and then Yamamoto was freaking out.
My first impression of Kotsume Kenma was when he first met Hinata. You could tell that he was a character who stands out because A, his hair, his pudding head, and also B, the way that he is gaming on the side of the road. I think he was lost at that time, according to what Kuro said. Kenma was lost, and at the same time he met a lost Hinata who got overly excited. Like that first meeting, it created quite an impression on me in the way that he asked Hinata, "Are you a volleyball player?" And Hinata was like, I think that showed how perceptive Kenma is as a person.
That's true. And don't know why, I think it's that instant that they exchanged their mail address.
Mm-hmm.
And then somehow they are still exchanging mails when they left, and it was quite impressive because the first time they met and then they know each other is basketball player and volleyball player and they're already promising each other saying, oh, we should meet on a match somewhere in Tokyo.
Yeah.
And it should be quite significant for Hinata because they have to play really hard to get to the level to play in Tokyo, such as say the Inter-High or the Haruko championships. I think Kenma is another different style to Oikawa. And I think I've mentioned it in the Oikawa episode. He wasn't really talkative, but the points he made, it was really valid, which makes his teammate really believed in him. He wasn't a really strong volleyball player as Oikawa, but then he is able to lead the team to win in a sense, which I think he's really good.
I think he sort of leads the team along with Krudo. While Krudo is the one who leads them in action, Kenma is the one who leads them in thought. So it's like two halves put together. And he sort of shares Kuro's captain in a sense. But he is in the spiritual part, where it's like he directs them and the team moves in that sense. Well, I wouldn't say he's much of a captain material. He seems more impassive, and he is rough sometimes, if you know what I mean. Yeah. When he works with Liev, and also sometimes when he plays games, he does go into that dark Kenma mode. Yeah. I remember he got angry at Gravity when he was playing the game, and I was like, this is unexpected from a character. And especially from all the scenes that we've seen Kenma in, he's gaming with a calm head, he's playing volleyball with a calm head, he's analyzing people with a calm head, and now he's Gravity, And that speaks quite a lot about Kenma as both a setter and a person.
Well, when I first saw him on the anime, he doesn't really impress me as Oikawa because he doesn't have a really
impactful
enter into the anime. He was quite a quiet person and he wasn't talking much. But then when they first play against Karasuno in the practice match, his ability shines and he really surprises Tobio as well. Wow, so you are doing 2 attacks at that point. And he has the gut to judge. Yeah. So talking about guts, he has a really interesting relationship with Yamamoto because somehow Yamamoto thinks that Kenma doesn't have the passion towards volleyball. But I think from Kenma's side, willing to practice with them every day is sort of showing his guts and passion. And so they sort of argue over the definition of guts for some time. But in the end, Kenma sort of admits Yamamoto.
And vice versa.
Yeah. So it was really interesting, like how he clicked with Hinata so quickly, when he still needed some time to click with his teammates. But when I say clicked, it doesn't really mean that he can't play well with his teammates in a game. It's just how they communicate with each other in their normal life.
It's uncanny how Kenma quickly made friends with Hinata, but you could see that he's struggling to fit with Yamamoto and also Haikyuu. Like when they first met, there were quite a lot of differences, and you could see that he sort of struggled to make friends with his team more than what he did Hinata. At the same time, I am not sure what he saw in Hinata. Maybe it was the passion or like the sunshine aura that Hinata gives, but I think he has a really healthy relationship with Hinata as friends and also rivals. As you said, they were exchanging mails most of the time, and you could also see Kenma cheering for Hinata during games on the side. And in the episode when Hinata played against Inarizaki, when he did that receive, that was almost like something Noya-san would do. And you could see Kenma like doing that cute smile, and I was like, oh my god, they're supporting each other.
Yeah, and one point that makes Kenma sort of like the command tower of Nekoma is that despite his analytical like ability, he's really calm in any situation. Like he accepts the gravity.
That episode.
Yeah, episode. But he's usually really calm, and he could like give out fair opinions on the opponents really quickly during the game, which leads the team to victory. Well, and because I think Kenma is really competitive, he doesn't like losing, so in the game where he played against the other high school in Haruko, he tried his best to be on court until the last minute, which I think that he himself grew up as well together with Hinata. Because of this friendly rival relationship, because they are in different positions, Kenma is a setter and Hinata is a middle blocker, it's kind of hard to really compete with each other and say, I won or something like that. But I think it's the matter of how well they performed in the match, which makes they wanted to improve continuously. And as a person like Kenma, he's really timid, to be the word, is it?
I think he's more like the opposite of outgoing.
Yeah.
Introverted.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's willing to step out of his comfort zone and just to play volleyball with his life. I think that is really like something to compliment about Kenma, and which makes his character special. And because Kenma doesn't, as you can see, Kenma loves gaming, but he's still willing to play volleyball because of Kuro.
And also his own interests.
Yeah.
I think he's a really determined character.
Oh, yeah.
In the anime, they did show some of his backstory when Kuro remembered Kenma waking up in the middle of the night and playing games under his blanket because, I woke up in the morning, so I didn't play throughout the night. And then that was technically not the morning, but like Kenma was determined. And the determination he showed in gaming has also gone along when he played volleyball. We're not really talking about post-time skip because that would be a huge spoiler alert. But yeah, I think Kenma as a character, we did see him sort of grow quite a lot, especially relationship-wise. And I think his playstyle has also evolved a little throughout from what we saw.
Yeah, I think he became more observant and team-oriented towards the later games. Well, he's always team-oriented, but then I think he can see more, like he thinks a few steps ahead instead of a step ahead. So in the end, you don't know when you fell into his traps. I quite like that when I watched the anime, like, wow, you set that up that early? Therefore, opponents, they respected him in a way. They knew Kenma being a really good setter, so they tried to, attack him from the first. But then, in the end, they still can't win his wit. Yeah, I think this is interesting. So, rounding up, this episode is about Kotsume Kenma being the setter of Nekoma High. With his determined character, he continued to play volleyball with a really friendly rivalry with Hinata. And him being an antagonist, I think he's a friendly antagonist, to be honest. So stay tuned to our channel, and we might see you in the next episode. So this is Intermezzo.
Bye.
Bye.